Childcare increases women's labor productivity when they are able to work without worrying about where their child is.
Even for parents who are not able to afford, they can sell literally everything to try and afford the best.
We are defining childcare as the early years, the first 3 years of a human being, the 1,000 days of a human being. So it is important that in those first 3 years, children are nurtured, children are cared for, children are supported to develop and nurture their potential. It is in these first 3 years where a child's brain develops significantly, much higher, at a higher pace than later years in life. So we want to nurture these years so that by the time children are getting into the pre-primary phase, 3 to 5 years, to 6 years where they start primary, we want them to have had a good nurturing, we want them to have developed strong relationships with their caregivers, but we also want to have programming for caregivers where we teach them how to parent, what is the appropriate parenting, and how do you nurture those relationships between caregivers and children. So that's why it is important that childcare forms the basis for human capital development, because the returns, as research has shown, the returns to investments in early childhood care are immense.
It's a multifaceted intervention by government, and I'm glad to note that on Monday Cabinet passed the early childhood care and education policy that now recognizes the need to strengthen coordination among all stakeholders, to start with parents as the first caregivers and people who should develop. So guidelines will be produced to make sure that parents know what to teach their children, because we are told that children grow, the brain of a child grow faster within the first 3 years of their life.
This policy has been a long time coming. We have celebrated, we have hugged. I don't know how many times it has gone for signing and it comes back to us. We cannot say that early years is the most important period of a child's life and you don't show it. You don't put money where your mouth is. So with these regulations, with this licensing, with all the different areas that have been discussed inside this policy, it means that at least for the very least now we shall have a certain level of standards, a certain level of quality, so that we can provide for all the children of Uganda.